good? Chef Barlow here again with another video, and today we're making one of my favorites from the mall growing up, bourbon chicken. But I'm gonna add some jerk seasoning because you know we have to make it Caribbean style, and I'm using Macallan instead of a bourbon. So this is gonna be a little bit more luxurious, but you can use whatever you want. Anyway, give me 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Boom, bam, bing, bang, bang!
Chef Barlow is the champion cook in your town. Outside of skills, he's just fun to be around. Dependable and mobile, quick to reach your door. You lick your fingers and ask for more.
Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. We got 2 pounds of cut chicken thighs, some sea salt, some garlic and ginger for a flavor, some honey and brown sugar for sweetness, soy sauce and hoisin sauce for some umami kick, and jerk seasoning and the Macallan 12.
You go ahead and we just season it with the salt. We're gonna add the ginger and the garlic. It's about a tablespoon of each. This is up to you. And about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I'm using light, but I would use dark. I just didn't have any dark. And we're also gonna add the Macallan 12, which you would be using a bourbon, but we don't have any bourbon, so we're gonna go ahead and just use what we have. Macallan's one of my favorite drinks to have, so must always use what you drink, you know, cook with that. Don't just buy a cheap thing just for the hell of it. We have raw organic honey. Just put a couple tablespoons of that to go along with the brown sugar just for the sweetness. You know, get this thing nice and delicious. We want all these things marinated, okay? All these ingredients, we need them together just to create a nice little harmony. I'm adding a regular soy sauce. You can use a dark soy sauce if you have one, but I'm using regular soy sauce. And also some hoisin sauce. Why am I putting the hoisin in there? I just love hoisin. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorite Asian ingredients. And of course, the star of the show, the big dog, some jerk seasoning. The jerk seasoning is just to give it a little different kick to it. That's all it is. It's not nothing special in the sense of it's needed, but it's just going to give it that added extra. What is this ingredient? You know, wow, there's something different in there. That's what it is. And just get this marinated. So what we're going to do, we're going to put it in a plastic Ziploc and we're going to put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours. Preferably, the best would be overnight. But if you can't wait for overnight, you're making it the same day, you know, 4 hours is fine to me. Because that way all the ingredients get a chance to marinate and really get to soak into the chicken. So now we'll go ahead and add oil to the pot. Use any kind of neutral oil, avocado oil, vegetable oil, anything that doesn't have too much of a strong flavor profile. You don't want to overpower the ingredients you already have. And then now we're going to stir fry it. Now what I did do is bring the chicken back to room temperature. That is very important. You don't want to just take it right out the fridge and let's go ahead and start cooking, because the chicken's going to bring the temperature of the oil down. I like to put it in a little bit of batches at a time. That way that the oil doesn't just cool down right away. You got to keep in mind, we're stir frying this thing. We don't want it to turn into water and liquid and begin steaming, okay? So let's go ahead and get this stir fried. You know, I really love bourbon chicken. We used to go to the mall as a child, you know, when I was younger. And this was one of the most cost-effective meals you could buy at the mall. I mean, it's not as cost-effective nowadays, but back then this was one of the cheapest things you could get. You had a little pocket money. You know, you can go to the Chinese place over there or Asian place and get you a nice bourbon chicken with some white rice and maybe some noodles or something like that. So we're just going to keep on stirring. And what we want to do is have this eventually caramelize, right? So it's going to take about 5 minutes, 6 minutes to cook. You know, this is a really quick dish. I would advise to get on your white rice. You know, we already have fried rice going with this. We're going to eat this with fried rice. But if you want, you know, put on the white rice about 5 minutes before you start this dish so that it can all kind of be together at the same time. As you can see, the caramelization is happening. And there, look, we're getting that beautiful bourbon reddish color that we love so much.
That's the sugars cooking off and reducing in there. That's giving it that beautiful color along with the Macallan.
I'm using a scotch. You don't have to use any alcohol whatsoever. So I take it out, and then now we use the marinade that we had the chicken in to make the sauce. You want to make sure this comes to a boil because it had the raw chicken in there, so you don't want to, you know, you got to be careful. So make sure this has come to a boil. We add a little butter, unsalted. And if your sauce is not thick enough for you, you know, you can just taste it after you bring it to a boil and add a little bit more seasoning, or you can add some cornstarch with a little water, like a tablespoon of cornstarch, you know, teaspoon I mean. You don't want it to be too much. And then we're gonna put back our chicken in there and just give this a stir fry. This is one of the fastest and easiest meals you can make. This makes great appetizers also as well. We're gonna give it a good mix and make sure everything is combined well together. Look at that, just like the mall. You can't beat this, only a little bit better. I gotta admit, the mall is good, but this definitely is miles and levels above. And as I said before, we have our fried rice already made. This goes really well with white rice. And we're just gonna add the bourbon chicken to it and eat. That's it, there's nothing else to do. This is a 5-minute meal, quick, fast, and absolutely delicious. Top it off with a little scallion and we just eat. There you go. Now check out my other videos, guys. If you like this one, and you know, give me a like or drop a comment. One love.